Hey folks, Joe Morris with Answers, Heaven Speaks, and hopefully soon Marisa will pop on here. I'll keep an eye out for her. My daughter Marisa is a clairvoyant, clear channel, and she's not a storefront wizard, a storefront gypsy. She doesn't take your $2 and say, oh, okay, grandma's fine. That's not what she is. What Marisa does is Marisa has the ability to get in and have conversations with spiritual members of the other side. So we enjoy having her come in and give us comments on the story. My job is just to tell a story, and that's it. And you wonder why? Well, because Jesus told us to. Marisa and I started this, maybe 12 years ago. I believe it was the end of November in 2011. Because I remember they said that November 11th, 2011 was a very special day because the earth had switched. Basically what they told us is no longer would there be first, second, third levels of souls being born onto the earth. They were going to be fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh level souls. So I keep saying anybody who was born or you had a child after November of 2011, you have a very, very special child because this generation. That's why Lucifer is is going after all the children. He is. Look what's going on in the schools. And it isn't just here in the United States. Lucifer wants to take over the curriculum and make sure that kids grow up screwed up. Because we already know that the kids are starting out with an advantage on Lucifer right away. Because they're advanced souls. So he has to get to them early. And that's why you're seeing all the problems that you see in schools. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So what we do is we continue on with the story of Jesus. We have a lot of people that watch us from Asia. And, I got to this point yesterday a couple times, and then I didn't get to finish my thought. And what I was saying was, why did I break away about a month and a half, 2 months ago, right as Jesus was starting his ministry in the Urantia book, and start learning more about Islam and Muslims? What happened was I started getting, because of all these people in Asia that do watch our show, I was getting questions from them. What can you do to help us? Because the Muslims have now burned down 35 churches and they've burned down our pastors' houses, and it was just a mess, and I couldn't understand why. What is it about Islam that makes them the most feared in the world? They have no compulsion. I mean, they say in their own Quran there is no compulsion to religion. That's right in the very beginning of the Quran. Not the very beginning. I think it's in chapter 2. I don't know. I got lots of notes on different verses, and I've read about 671, and then another 20 or so. 690, almost 700 verses already, and I've already been finding the. I don't want to call it hypocrisy. I want to call it the conflicts. Because constantly in the beginning, it's Allah will judge us, just as in Christianity. It is God who judges us. We, as humans, we can deal with people who are disbelievers, people who don't believe, because we just accept them as neighbors. And we say, okay, fine, you believe what you believe, that's fine. And you'll find that in the United States. You're not going to have a bunch of Muslims chasing after Christians and killing them. It just isn't happening. It's happening in other parts of the world. But the Muslims in the United States are perfectly fine. They have assimilated into the secular world, and they get to do their thing, and nobody faults them for doing their prayers every day or what they believe. And in turn, Muslims can just have pity in their own mind. They only have pity on Christians. They think that Christians are just fooled. But it was actually them who didn't believe in the New Testament. Let me check and see if Marisa's coming in. Don't mind if she comes in early. Let me see if I can add her. I'll send it, and she can come in when she wants to come in. Marisa doesn't like my sheet behind me. She says if we were on the StreamYard, I could put all kinds of fancy backgrounds. But if you remember, I had to do this. I had to put a background behind me because I am in my room where my desk is, and where that is,
Hi.
hi.
That's
I'm just
cool. You
showing
sent
you.
me an invite this time. I never even sent one through.
Oh, really? Oh,
Awesome. Yeah,
okay.
I don't want to talk about it, but cool. Yeah, okay, awesome. All right, I'm here
No.
listening. Hi, everyone. Just setting up my
Oh,
tripod.
yeah. What's behind me? I'm in my room, and so I've got this sheet behind me.
Yeah.
And because many times Facebook wouldn't post our show because they thought it was pornographic because I
Yeah.
had a bed behind me, and yet
Yeah.
I was watching I've been watching a lot of documentaries and debates and things like that. And one guy was in a debate in a Zoom call or whatever, and there he was, right behind him was his bed, because he was doing it from a hotel room or something. So who knows? That's why I've got it behind me. One of these days, Marisa will teach me how to get that virtual background behind me. But in the meantime, I had a blue sheet that was back there originally, and that was rather dark. And so I went to a little bit lighter screen behind me. So anyway, whatever you want, Marisa, I can go on with the story.
Yeah,
We
go
were
ahead.
just
But I will say I wanted to correct something that you said, and I was like, oh, I wish I was on there. You always say that the kids are so much more advanced. It was only the kids from 2000 and I think 11 or 12 until like 17 or 18, and then level one souls started coming back again. Like in, I think it was 19 or 20, like the whole COVID thing. During then, level souls were level one souls, which was like the lowest. If you guys go through one of our books, I have the Soul's Journey book with Bill, the Skeptic's Guide to the Soul's Journey, and then our book, I think we talk about the soul levels, but the level one souls were the ones that chose to turn their back on God. Like you can't be a level one soul. You start as a level two soul and you work your way up and you expand bigger and bigger and bigger. You become a level one soul when you choose to turn your back on God and snip the cord between you and God and basically say, I'm not with you anymore. I'm not going to do what you say. I'm God, just like you're God, and I'm going to make my own decisions and do my own thing. And that's where all the fallen angels rule all those level one souls. And they want all of us to become level one souls. So the light inside of us that is pure God, that's the Holy Spirit, can fuel them and keep them going. And then they want us as level one souls to have babies so that they then own our babies and we give the babies over to them. And it's a way for them to continue to survive without having to have God as their source. So all the kids are not enlightened. I thought they were too, but they just came through and told me this. All the kids are not enlightened. Some of the kids are level one souls, but they could have been like a level six soul before they turned their back on God. X amount of years ago, it could have been hundreds or thousands of years ago. They also are allowing level one souls to come in and be kind of like hosted by really high level souls. So really high level souls will say, yeah, that low level soul can come in and experience life with me.
mm-hmm.
And I'll teach them the ways, but those are the theys and the thems, that they are multiple souled people. So they have like their soul, which is a super high level soul, which it's beyond gender because the angelics are androgynous. So it's not a boy or a girl, but they will take on, they'll mentor a level one soul to help them cross back over. And it's just probably a piece of themselves, another piece of their higher self that they're taking on. But they're so arrogantly cocky going, yeah, I'll take on that level one soul. No big deal. And then level one souls are taking over the whole vessel of the human being in the low vibration of the planet when everybody was in fear. Even these high vibrational souls went into fear. And when they went into fear, those low level one souls that were like, basically walked away from God. God would never toss us. We walk away from God. God's always willing to take us back. It's just turning our will and our life over to God, to go back to God through Christ. And that's through forgiveness, compassion, and strength and hope, not back to God like Abaddon, the one who wrote the Quran, which was not Gabriel. Gabriel wrote the pretty verses. some of the verses that we were reading maybe like a month or two ago. But the rest of the Quran, they came in yesterday and told me the rest of the Quran was channeled through Abaddon.
Wow, Abaddon was not a good angel.
So yeah, I don't know who Abaddon is. I didn't look it up. I didn't want to plant any seeds in my head just in case he came through again. And he was over here knocking on the roof earlier going, I want to talk today. I want to clear things up. And I'm thinking, no, no. When I channeled Adam, everything went crazy. Me and my dad went crazy. Everyone went crazy. So I'm not going to let a fallen angel in. And he said, well, it shows how much you know. That's what he said. And then he turned around and left. This is like about 30 minutes
Who?
ago.
Who did that? Who turned
Abaddon. He
around?
says, shows how much you know. He says, the fallen are not really the fallen. You guys are all mistaken. Satan is the greatest deceiver. He goes, you guys all worship Satan. Who do you think Santa is? And he showed me Santa, Satan, the same words. I mean, they're the same letters. Satan
Yeah,
and Santa.
yeah, that's right.
And I was like, and then I started going, but then that being just knew what my soft spot was because I'm always like, Santa or God, Santa or God. Do I say things, do we go along with the Santa thing or no? So he found my soft spot and said that, hoping that I'd channel him. So I'm not going to channel him. I'm not comfortable channeling him, but that answers your question about the crayon and all the um, it go kill people and don't take any mercy on people that don't believe what you believe. It was written by an earthbound godhead, a being that is God in his own right, but he's God of the earth, the inner earth. I just heard God of the inner earth.
I'm trying to get into the Book of Enoch and see what the names of all those angels. I've
He's the
gotten
God of
into
the
it.
tortured souls.
Oh, let's see.
He actually
Let's
helps
see.
tortured souls not
He
be tortured anymore.
he would be one of the Watchers.
He's
Uh,
not bad. He doesn't seem bad. He just seems like he doesn't have his own source. So if something doesn't have its own source, do you want to call it into your energy? No, because then you're going to be its source and it's going to pull all your energy from you. And then you're going to get sick and you're going to get autoimmune and you're going to get cancers and all that stuff. If a being is using you as its source. So I don't trust anything that doesn't have it like its own source.
I'm looking to see if I can type in Abaddon, because this Enoch reference I've got is just a book itself, but I can't get into search. Can't
Enoch
get
is
a
connected.
search. What's that?
Oh, I just asked, I said, was Enoch connected to source? And they said, Enoch is connected to source. So that's good.
Yeah, I mean, Enoch, the book of Enoch was used by Moses when Moses wrote the Torah, the first five books. And he's also mentioned a few times by Jude, which is the last New Testament book before the last book, which is Revelation. So next to the last book is Jude, and yet in the book of Jude, who is the brother of Jesus, he speaks of Enoch as well. But I remember Abaddon. I think I can just get to these
The
names
book of
of the
Enoch
Watchers.
is the map of the underworld, though. He tells about the entire underworld, and he tells about the God that told them they couldn't come back or whatever. That wasn't the true God. That was just the God of the earth. And so he tells about all the levels of the underworld and where the angels went through. I think it's super interesting.
Oh, you know what? I don't have Abaddon. It says they all together and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it, and they were in all 200. 200 angels fell and came to earth, and they fell in love with the manufactured hybrids, which were human women, and then they created giants, which were the Nephilim. But prior to that, these angels, these fallen angels, these watchers, would help with teaching them how to um, farm, how to make weapons, and basically learn the ways of civilization. But anyway, and these are the names of their leaders. Samlaz, their leader, Arakalba, Ramil, Kokabiel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Daniel, Ezekiel, Barakwal, Asael, Armaros, Badarel, Ananel, Zaklel, Sam Sapil, Satarel, Turel, Jomeo, Sario, and these are their chiefs of tens. I don't have an Abaddon. I think you're going to have to clear up for me why. Why does Abaddon keep coming in and laughing at us? Oh, I don't have you there.
I muted.
Are you?
Abaddon is coming in laughing at us because he says that he's the one that wrote the Quran.
Oh, so it was him that was talking to Muhammad, and it wasn't Gabriel.
Not Gabriel, no. Well, Gabriel, he was talking. Gabriel came in the beginning.
Sometimes in the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what he's saying, or what Gabriel's saying, and this is what Gabriel said yesterday. He says they're messengers, so they're like angels don't really have their own consciousness, but Gabriel does. Other angels are just kind of like me, like they're just channels. They send information through themselves into where it needs to go to. The Abaddon is not an angel. It's a well. So then people have to understand the difference between consciousness, a soul, and the awareness and the spirit. But so there are all these different things, but a consciousness that gets so smart that if you picture like a little piece of God shell, like an M&M, picture an M&M, the M&M, peanut M&M, the shell around the peanut M&M is like all knowing everything, God energy. And then we're this little peanut inside the M&M, and that's the consciousness, that's the Christ consciousness. And it's our job as that Christ consciousness to expand and grow throughout all the chocolate and then get that shell around us, because then we'll know everything. But for the time being, we have everything and the knowledge of everything around us. We have access to it, but we can't see it because all the chocolate's in the way. And so the angels will come in, and the angels will deliver messages directly into the little peanut in the middle and avoid all the chocolate and bring us messages so that we can expand, and our peanut can get bigger and bigger and bigger until all the chocolate's gone and it's just the shell and the peanut. So Abaddon is a shell and peanut. So he expanded so much so and became so godlike in his soul's journey, his consciousness, his Christ consciousness journey. But then he chose to make his own reality. And we can make our own realities by creating sub realities within this reality. I mean, this is like look at it like a computer game, or look at it like a reality that Jesus created. Say Jesus created this world, and look at it like a computer game, like the kids play Animal Crossing, and they're making their own little islands, and they're making little shops and people and all this stuff, inviting people to their island, and they have to pay their bills and do all this stuff. But I told the kids the other day, I said, Jesus made an island and then saw all the little people on the island killing each other, so decided to be born into one of the little people on the little island he created to teach him how to be good. Well, this Abaddon hasn't made the island. He didn't make an island. He's just has the ability to, if he was given an island, to create one, or given a planet, he could create one. But instead, he's hijacking someone else's, and skewing the reality on someone else's creation by sharing truths that will sabotage the creation that Christ created. Does that make sense? But Abaddon was created by
Possibly.
Christ too.
I'm kind of listening to you, but at the same time, I've mentioned this before. Women can do five things. A woman can focus on five things at the same time, and scientists have already proven that. They attach little nodes to the brain and all this stuff, and on women and on men. Women can actually be focused and in tune with five different things at the same time, and they can react to all five of those. Men can only react to one thing at a time. One thing. That's why you wives, when you're trying to get your husband's attention while he's watching the football game, it's impossible, because he can't listen to you and watch the football game at the same time. Yeah, that's just the way
Or he
it is.
doesn't want
So
to.
no, I think through science they've shown that men just cannot focus on more than one thing at a time.
I think
That's
the
pretty
scientist
pretty
was a
much it.
man, but it's okay.
It could be. So anyway, while Marisa was going over that, I was looking and trying to scan on Enoch, and so I didn't catch the last thing that you said. I'll have to listen to it.
Abaddon is hijacking Jesus's creation. Yeah,
Okay, I got
he's a
that.
creator god.
I think I mixed up Abaddon with Azazel. Azazel.
Well, there was also
Azazel.
Raleigh yesterday too.
Raleigh?
Yeah,
We
Raleigh,
don't.
and we thought maybe it was a town.
Oh yeah, Raleigh.
Was
Yeah,
one.
I
But
don't
you said
remember
something.
much of
You
that.
said Ramiel in there, and Ramiel was one of them yesterday too. I was like, is it Ramiel or Raleigh or? But you said Ramiel, and Ramiel was one of the ones. I don't remember what we were talking about in regards to that. I just know that we brought it up.
Oh, well, let me just read the very beginning of chapter 4 from Enoch.
Okay.
It's kind of on topic here. Chapter 4, verse 1, starting with verse 1. And then Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven and saw much blood being shed upon the earth, and all lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. This is going to be sounding, and then they're going to come in with some verses here that sound almost not identical to the Quran, but brought to us the same way the Quran is brought to us. And they said one to another, the earth made without inhabitants cries the voice of their cryingest up to the gates of heaven. Verse 3, and now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men, make their suit, saying, bring our cause before the Most High. The Most High can be anything from God the Father, Allah in the Quran, or it can mean the Most High. The Most High is also the leader and is in charge of our constellation. The
The
Most
Most
High
High is
is,
in charge of gods beneath it. But the Most High is a hologram of the Most High. Like the Most High is not different anywhere. It's like a taking a not even yeah. It's like a clone, not even a clone. It's just a like if I'm moving and talking right now, there's another me over there moving and talking and doing the same thing. If I was a clone, then my clone could do whatever it wants, and I do whatever I want. The Most High acts in one way, and the Most High acts in all the places that it is in that exact same way. It's just the essence or an energy, but it's a force, and that's what they're referring to right there. But it's in charge of the gods. That's interesting.
yeah, I mean, many times throughout the Urantia book, even in the Bible,
Yes.
you see the plural of God. It's
Mm-hmm.
gods, and that's the one thing that the Quran gets away from, because they say there is only one God. You can't have a plural to that. But in the Urantia book, in the Bibles, um, there are no other gods before me. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. It was God who created other gods, lesser gods, to rule within the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have them running super universes, we have them running universes, constellations, systems, solar systems. I mean, we have a number of gods, just as Michael, who is the creator of our universe, would be considered a god because he is a creator. He is the God of our universe. And then of course Michael came in and became Jesus,
No, he's a
because
Christ. He's not a god. And I just heard he's a Christ, not a
uh-huh,
god.
okay.
A god would be a force. A Christ would be a thought module, a thought processor.
Well,
Uh,
when the Jews were and we'll get there when we get to the through the story, to the crucifixion. um, they kept asking him, are you God? Are you the
he's not.
Son of God? Jesus had a hard time answering that,
He's not.
because in a way, he's God. He's the God of our universe, but he's not really God.
Not God.
And so he had a hard time answering that truthfully, because Jesus had no sin within him. He's very righteous, very holy. Uh, and I'm that way with Tawny. I just don't want to. I had to actually explain Christmas to her
Yeah,
recently, because she confronted me on it, and I didn't want to lie.
I know. I'm
And
feeling that same way too.
yeah, because it starts with the kids. The kids at
Yeah.
school. They go, "Oh, you still believe in Santa Claus?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Then they come home and they go, "Dad, my friends say there's no Santa Claus."
Mm-hmm.
So how can I turn around and go, "Oh, yes, there is"? But I have told her, yes, there is. There really is a Santa Claus. And he shows up every winter time, every Christmas or whatever. He shows up somewhere and treats somebody to something. It's just that Santa Claus has a lot of helpers.
Well,
And the parents,
I told
parents,
Jeff last night, I said my first heartbreak, my very first heartbreak was when I was in the sixth grade. The sixth grade,
mm-hmm.
I was 12 when
Okay.
Holly told Mama the thing that made me so sad was when I found out that Santa Claus didn't exist. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, we were at our country grove condo up there, and I remember standing there and we had our Jake and Bobo birds, and they were whistling in the background, and my whole world was like, ooh. And then I thought about it, the snow globe. I encountered Santa before I encountered any other guide. Remember, my guide is Santa because that's the
Yeah.
first thing I believed in. Because you didn't believe in God. I mean, I grew up with basically an atheist for parents, and Mama was so bitter at religion. So
Yeah.
Santa was my God, so it was like when I found out that wasn't real, it was earth shattering for me. I told Jeff that was my first heartbreak. And then it's like, well, my parents lied to me. So I told him, I said, I'm feeling a little weird about it because the kids are getting older. So I want to either explain it or something, figure out something, or tell them that this is the last year that Santa's going to be here or something like that. Because
Well,
they're,
I've been giving them warning. I've been giving Tawny warnings for the last 2 years. I say, look, Tawny, Santa Claus only comes to the kids up to 6 because they need to. The reason for Santa Claus is the gifts from the kings for the
Mhm.
birth of Jesus, and
Yeah.
they came and brought 3 gifts. So that's what Santa is supposed to bring, is bring you 3
Oh,
gifts
that's good. I'm going to use
to
that.
match the kings or the shepherds who came and brought the gifts to the newborn king, which is Jesus. And so we celebrate those kings through another saint, which happens to be Nicholas, and we call him Santa Claus. And Santa Claus goes around and he brings goodness to people, but he can't get to everybody. So
Yeah, but not.
Santa has to have helpers, and
Yeah.
sometimes those helpers have to be the parents.
Oh,
But
that's a good one.
you never know. You never know. I even told Tawny yesterday. I said, you know what, Tawny, I'm still going to put the milk and cookies out, and we'll see if Santa shows up or not.
Oh, that's cool.
So
That's cool.
I'm keeping that little doubt inside her
Yeah,
head.
that's good. That's smart. I'm
You
going to
know
do
what I
that.
mean?
Yeah.
She understood. And then of
Well, you
all
obviously did a
things,
good job with me because I believe in
she
God in
had
sixth
to.
grade.
She had a lesson in class the other day, maybe the end of last week, where she had to write a story. So I said, okay, what story did you write? And she said, I wrote the story you told me about Santa. I went, oh no, Tawny. Yeah. So she already wrote about it.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I don't know if all the kids,
Oh
who knows?
no.
But you always feel bad. I mean, you feel bad about, in essence, lying to your kids, because that's one of the 10 Commandments: do not
Yeah.
lie. And I mean, that is a major, major, major thing, is lying. And so when Tawny approached me a few weeks ago, she said, Dad, is there a Santa? Because the kids in school say there's no Santa. What was I gonna do?
I know.
For the first thing I did was I said, no, Santa's real. Blah, blah, blah. I went through all the, oh, yeah, he's real. And then I went to Drew afterwards, and Tawny was off in her bedroom or somewhere. And I asked her, what should I do? And she goes, I don't know. What do you think you should do? I go, I don't know. I don't know what to do. And so I thought about it for a day. And then the next day when she came home from school, I said, Tawny, come on over here. I have to tell you something, because how much I hate lying. I don't
Yeah.
want to lie. You asked me a question yesterday, so let me try to explain it to you. And it was heartbreaking to her to
Yeah.
actually hear it coming from me.
Yeah.
But that's why I still leave that little bit of doubt, because
Yeah.
I know there's a Santa out there. There's a Santa. He shows up. I even told her a few Christmases ago, something came from Santa for you, Tawny. And me and Mama both looked at each other and said, "Who did you get that?" And Drew said, "No, did you get it?" I said, "No, who got it?"
Seriously? Somebody just
Yeah,
randomly was there? Wow.
yeah. I don't remember what it was. I think it was a big squishy or something. And
Oh
Drew
wow.
thought I got it for her, and I thought Drew got it for her. But then we found out neither one of us got it for her, but it was
Wow, that's
only
cool.
us at Christmas. So we go, either one of us are stupid and forgot, or Santa showed up. Santa showed up. So, I don't want to completely disparage Santa. But anyway,
Yeah.
okay, to Azazel, getting back to Abaddon, paragraph 4 or verse 4. And this sounds almost Quranish, to tell you the truth. Verse 4. And they said to the Lord of the ages, Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, and God of the ages, the throne of thy glory standeth unto all the generations of the ages, and thy name holy and glorious and blessed unto all the ages. Thou hast made all things, and power over all things hast thou. and all things are naked and open in thy sight, and thou seest all things, and nothing can hide itself from thee. That's very close to the kind of language that you get through the Quran, all through 114 chapters or whatever. I mean, it's that kind of flowery language describing God in essence. And the one thing Quran does not have, it doesn't have any stories. There's no
Oh, there's
stories.
so many stories, huh? Okay.
There are no stories in the whole Quran. No stories. You know, no personal people, no events, no nothing. It's just the same glorification of God. But then all of a sudden, when it gets up to chapter, I think it's chapter 3 or chapter 4, all of a sudden, permission is given over to Muhammad, his messenger, his messenger, that everybody is supposed to listen to him and follow him. If not, he can kill them. Kill them.
Yeah.
And I'm going, well, no. And I said in a little note to you, maybe this weekend we'll do an off live situation and have Gabriel in here.
I'm excited about that. Yes, let's do it.
And then we'll go ahead and post it up. But
they said we could have up to 10 of my students there to ask questions if they wanted to be there.
Well, do it. Let's just do it on Saturday.
Okay.
Let's see. And they said to the Lord of Ages, we got that one. Thou seest. Oh, okay. Now, verse 5, and this is as far as I'm going to go. Verse 5, thou seest what Azazel hath done, who hath taught all unrighteousness and on earth, and revealed the eternal secrets which were in heaven. Wonder what the eternal secrets are in heaven, which men were striving to learn. And Samlazah, to whom thou hast given authority to bear rule over his associates.
The eternal secrets have something to do with the stars.
Is that what it is? I mean, they seem to be upset that they're teaching humankind about things which were in heaven that they weren't supposed to know about.
The eternal secrets they just said the eternal secrets have something to do with the stars in the heavens and the regenerative ability of everything's about energy. Anything that's God is energy, and you can't recreate God energy. So it's been the quest of all beings for all time to find a way to create energy without having to have God. And there's been, I'm thinking of like what's his name, Laszlo, and not Laszlo. Is it Laszlo? They just said Laszlo. There's like, I think of Tesla. Think of all these people trying to create energy or get energy. It's all about who has the most energy, is what they're saying. And the secrets in the heavens is how to basically live forever through creating energy and using the energy of the stars. They said there's a reason why there's the North Star, and there's the morning star, and there's the reference to all the stars in the Bible, because the stars are the generative energies that lie within us that keep us going. And they're this nuclear energy that's inside of us that keeps us alive. That's how God keeps us alive, through stardust almost. And Earth is kind of like a star, but we're created of the earth, but our celestial bodies are created of the stars. And that's all they're telling me.
You know, one of the things we don't really quite understand about Enoch was it actually the Anunnaki that he had visited with and who had taken him up? We don't know. I was going to ask, and we'll do it off camera. I was going to ask, when does Nibiru, the planet of the Anunnakis, it comes by every 3,600 years, and they've been taking care of Earth, and they hop onto Earth, and they come for the gold or whatever. When was the last time that Nibiru passed by Earth?
1,800 years ago?
1,800 years ago. Well, they have 3,600 years. So we're not going to see them for another 1,800 years. I was thinking that it was more like at the time of Moses, and that would have made it about 3,500.
They were here for 600 years, though.
Yeah, they can be here for a long time.
Yeah, they're here for 600 years.
I guess it depends on how far their ships can travel, because their Earth, their planet keeps moving. But it's a dark planet. We can't see it. There is no light on it. It's almost like a, what do you call it? It's almost like an asteroid. You know, we can see stars with our telescopes because they're lit up by different suns. But there are a lot of things up there in the sky that we cannot see, and they can only see when one dark object passes over another. In other words, they have pictures and they can see some stars, but then all of a sudden that star fades out and then it comes back again. They know that something dark passed over in front of us. And so I think Nibiru is a dark planet and they need gold. And I was just thinking the next time they come, they're just going to go to Fort Knox in the United States.
Why?
And they're just going to get all the gold. All the gold that's stored by the United States is in bricks and in a big place, and they're going to get all the gold they need just by going to Fort Knox. But anyway, let me
They
finish
need
up.
unrefined gold, whatever that means. Unrefined gold, and they're part of the story. They're part of the Earth story. They're part of the story that was created. Because when they created Earth, we created a story around Earth, and who created it, and who's feeding it, and who's making it what it is. And there's all these other planets that are around us that they're all part of like the movie that we're living in. There's another reality outside of this reality where that doesn't exist. We don't exist. Nothing really exists. There's a different reality that's more real than this one, that's more real than the Anunnaki, that's more real than, I mean, Adam and Eve are even more real than Anunnaki. The Anunnaki are part of the creation story. And that creation story was created and we live in it. And it's something that will continue to exist as long as we live in it. It's like we went to go live inside of a movie, and Earth is the movie, and the Anunnaki and all that stuff have to do with the movie. But if you step outside of that, there's no ships, there's no anything. It's just pure consciousness. And I think that that's outside of the super universes are outside of the story as well. So the super universes, but the universes are too. So we're living in a story. So the Anunnaki and Earth and the creation of that's all like a story that we live inside of, that if the gods wanted to change that, at any time they could just snap their fingers, erase it from our memory, make it not exist, and then we'd live in a different reality. And that's what Abaddon was doing. He was trying to change the reality by changing the story. That makes sense. Abaddon was trying to change the story.
Okay.
That makes
I still don't have Abaddon. Let me read two more verses on that.
Go ahead.
Then we're done
I'm gonna
with
look
it.
up Abaddon because it's driving me crazy. I want to know who Abaddon is.
Okay. And anyway, so Azazel is one of the fallen angels, so to speak, watchers. And so he gave up the secrets of the heaven, which was to the consternation of God. And I hope I don't lose you. You'll see my lights are flickering.
Yeah, you're flickering. I think the video.
It's me. No, it's me that's flickering because we got to get somebody in here. It's only on this part of my house that flickers, and it'll turn off my TV while I'm right at the fourth quarter, last minute of a ball game, and my TV will go off.
God
I go,
forbid.
oh no! I got to go back through everything to try and get back to the game. By then, the game's over. People are shaking hands. I'm going, what happened? But anyway, we got to get it fixed. Number five was Azazel. Number 6. This is from chapter 6 in Genesis, right from the book of Enoch. And they have gone to the daughters of men upon the earth, and have slept with the women, and have defiled themselves, and revealed to them all kinds of sins. And the women have borne giants, and the whole earth has thereby been filled with blood and unrighteousness. Verse 7. And now, behold, the souls of those. If you want to know where dark energy is, dark angels, dark things, how can that be on the earth right now? Listen to this. And now, behold, the souls of those who have died are crying out, making their suit to the gates of heaven. And their lamentations have ascended and cannot cease because of the lawless deeds which are wrought on the earth. And thou knowest all things before they come to pass, and thou seest these things, and thou dost suffer them, and thou dost not say to us what we are to do. Somehow, for some reason, I can't get my thing to scroll here. But anyway, I just wanted to say that's literally chapter 6 of. I know what it is.
That's Enoch, or is that the Quran?
That's Enoch. Okay, for whatever reason, my computer doesn't want to work now. I can't get it to scroll, so I can't go back over to.
I don't know if this is recording. I'm trying to go on to Answer 7 Speaks, and it's showing that our video may have shorted out, but I'm not sure.
That's okay.
It says people are on there. It still says we have 2 people on there, so they must be there.
That's good. We had a lot of people. We had, gosh, I don't have the numbers, 4,600 to
I
replace
sure hope
last
that
time.
this is recording because I didn't do the screen recording because I knew I could record off this, but our video is not there.
Oh well.
It started shorting
Yeah,
out when we were talking about Santa. Maybe
I don't
Santa
know.
shorted it out. I want to make sure it's on there, but
I can't do anything else because it's here they go. They're playing with our electronics again.
I know.
I can get my cursor. My cursor moves all over the place, but I can't get my text to change. Oh, now I lost my
If
cursor.
anybody's here, could you just do like a little comment in the comments or something? Oh, here, this is-
Yeah, okay. See, my light just went out again, and I can't get my computer to work at all. In fact, I've lost my cursor. Can't even do it with my finger. No, I don't know. I'm gonna have to shut this down. Okay, I think we're done with me. I think we'll just have to finish it up with you, Marissa. Let's see if I can get. No, I got nothing. Okay, you guys, something's going on. You've frozen me. Okay, they've frozen me. I can't get back over to the Urantia book, which I wanted to read on the mastery of self today. But hear me? Click, 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 click. I can't. Nothing. Nothing's working. And my light keeps blinking on and off. Oh no, and I lost Marissa. Here I am talking away. Let me see if I can get Marissa back again. Something's going crazy. Send invite. Let's see if we get her back again. Yeah,
Okay.
there she is. She's back again. Yeah, I can't do anything. I'll let you finish it up, Marissa. We've only got about 10 minutes anyway.
Okay. All right.
So
Let me.
we can cut it off early, or you can. Boy, this thing is just completely frozen.
I know, and you know, it's only when we talk about the Anunnaki that the evil stuff happens. I think that they're
That's
evil
right. That's right. That's right. Whenever we mention Anunnaki, everything goes haywire.
because it allows
Everything
their
goes.
energy into people at home. So it's like so our guides come in and they block it all so that nobody can get the energy of that energy through to them. Yeah, I think that they're a nasty energy.
Yeah, they are.
Um,
Well, if anybody's interested, we wrote about them in the Mysteries of Earth. If you can tap up in the corner, learn more, go to our website and learn more about Marissa. And you can see the different books that are available to you. And one of them is Mysteries of Earth. Nope, I'm
and
frozen.
our video's back. You're not frozen. I mean, I can hear you on there. As soon as we stop talking about them, the video popped back on. That's funny. Okay, well, let's see what the guides have to say. Let me just
See if
ask.
Jesus has any mention.
Yeah.
Or just, I leave it up to you. Wrap it
Okay.
up for the day.
All right. Let's see. So Jesus is here.
It's always good if Jesus gives us a lesson. It can be off topic of what we're talking about. Is there anything he'd like to give us on this Tuesday? Tuesday of a week, and we're talking about God. That's amazing.
Talk
But
about
we
God
got a
every
lot
day.
of
Jesus.
yeah, we got a
Jesus.
lot of people who watch it though. But it's different. I mean, you know, I watch these things, and I watch these guys, all these real brainiacs who are theologians and people that debate, and I see them debating, and I go, I want to get into the screen. I want to get on there and go, well, you know what? The Urantia book says, and I want to educate them and go, look, this is another channel book, and this is what God said, or at least his agents told us in the Urantia book. And so that's what you see all through YouTube. You see these pastors and they're giving their opinions or whatever, but I never run across anybody who talks about God and has a channel with them who can actually talk to the other side, which is what you can do.
Well, a
So
lot of
we
pastors are
are
channels and they
unique.
don't realize that they are. So they
What's
receive their
that?
messages. A lot of the pastors that talk and a lot of these people that are, I call them like talking heads, like us,
Oh,
just talking heads on screen. A lot of them are channels and they don't realize they're channels, but they get their information through intellectual stuff like you're a channel, but you go towards different things that are written already to read about them, but you're led towards different things. So Jesus is saying everybody is a channel. Not everybody is a channel of hope. Not everybody is a channel of pure light. Some are channels for fear. Some are channels for anger. Some are triggering points, as we call them. They're individuals that will look happy and talk happy and sound happy, but they will trigger people to no end, so that the people go, I'm such a bad person for being triggered by this person that's talking about good things. I must hate God, or God must hate me. So I'm a bad person. So everything in this world is about good and bad, even though good and bad do not, in essence, exist per se, because good and bad, there's good and evil, but there's good and bad in this world is defined by an individual's beliefs. And just as we have always said, a a murderer and a war hero are the exact same thing. They're the exact same thing. They killed someone in God's eyes. And it's all about intention, and it's all about beliefs within ourselves, whether we say that person's a hero or that person's a murderer and or a villain. So good and bad cannot be judged by man. However, we allow ourselves as man, woman, as man, to be judged by other beings and to be judged by ourselves on whether we are good or bad based on our society's beliefs, based on our worldly beliefs. So one thing I would like to mention today, this is Jesus, one thing I would like to say today is that what you must do is release yourself from all of the man-made judgments that you have placed yourself under. You have placed yourself under judgments that your mother and father said, this is good, this is bad. And now your entire life, this is what's good and this is what's bad. Somebody tells you, no, 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 this bad thing is actually good. You go, no, but you do it. And then you feel like you're rebelling. And then you feel like you're bad anyways, because your parents, who may be complete imbeciles, and I would never call someone an imbecile, but I'm just using this for the sake of conversation to explain. They may be completely out of their minds, but whatever they told you when you were young, you will believe. That's just all there is to it. Children will believe what their parents tell them. There's no argument about that. They believe you. And they believe you your entire life too. Children believe their parents. That's just how human beings are built. So understand that you may be judging yourself. You may be telling yourself you're a bad person because your parents said something was bad. So what you must do is ask, what is good and what is bad in my life according to Christ, or according to the Father, according to the Holy Spirit, however you want to look at this Trinity of God that we are. Look at it this way. Ask to be taken up a little elevator. Just ask to find yourself within yourself. Say, where am I within my body? And imagine you're in a little elevator, and imagine riding it all the way up to the very top of your head where you have a crown. In that crown, there's light shining down upon that crown. You stand in the middle and ask to become your Christ judge, the judge within, your Christed judge. You will then be able to say, is this really bad or is this really good? And you'll get a feeling and a sense inside. Actually, I don't think that this is actually very bad. I don't think that they're putting the belief in my head where Jeff always says, if you're 15 minutes early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. He always says that. And I go, stop telling the kids that, because it's going to be a belief stuck in their head. So if they're 5 minutes early for something, they're going to think that they're bad because they weren't 15 minutes early. And it's not something he believes. It's something he heard on like some military guy talking about it or something. But he says it all the time. And I go, don't say that anymore. It's going to put a belief in their head, and they're going to think that they're bad people if they're 5 minutes early or 10 minutes early or even 14 minutes early for something for the rest of their life. So he's saying that ask to become, he's saying that he would say ask to become Christ, but he says a lot of people won't want to become Christ. They'll think it's kind of like sacrilegious or something. But he's saying, but ask to become your Christed guide. There you go, your Christed guide, and ask to feel what it feels like to be doing something good, and ask to feel what it feels like to be doing something bad. And if you want to make a decision in your life, if you want to quit your job to go do something that you are passionate about, but you feel like it's bad to quit your job because the only good people in the world work 9 to 5. They've got benefits. They've got 401ks, and they've got real jobs. But you want to go and you want to feed your soul and become an artist or a musician or something of this sort, but you won't do it, even though you're talented and you'd be amazing at it and you'd be happy. You stay in your job because your father told you that money doesn't grow on trees. You have to work hard for your money, and good people work hard for their money, and they work 40 hours a week, and they have benefits and this and that. That obviously was speaking to somebody out there because that was very specific, whoever that was for. But anyway, so Jesus is saying that you just have to ask to become, ride that little elevator up to the top of your head, imagine a crown around you, and then ask to become become your Christ guide, and then just ask to feel good and bad feeling, and then make a decision based on that, because there are 74% of you that are watching this, and 98% of the planet won't make a decision about something because you feel it was bad because your parents told you, the media told you, something told you when you were young, but it's your path. It's what you should be doing in your life right now. And you won't do it because you think it's bad. So this is my message today, is that there is good and bad per se, but you're not evil if you choose to do something for yourself. If you choose to love yourself, that is not a bad thing. You are also told that if you love yourself over others, that's bad. That's not true. You must love yourself first in order to love others. They always say, help others so then you can feel better about yourself. You can't truly help another until you've helped yourself first into a place where you truly love yourself and see yourself for who you are. Otherwise, you'll just project onto other people. So what you must do is begin to love yourself. And the first way to love yourself is to release yourself of all the guilt and shame that you have picked up through the years based on beliefs from this world that you picked up on. And remember this is one thing to allow yourself to release your guilt. Your soul probably planned it. Your soul probably planned for you to be the quote unquote bad guy in this situation that you still feel guilty over, so that that person could learn, so that you could learn, so that your children could learn, so that everybody around you could learn. So you're actually the quote unquote good guy for being the bad guy. So just release guilt. Imagine a big Santa bag with toys in it, filled with your guilt, throw it over your shoulder, and just imagine dropping it off a cliff. Let that guilt go, because the guilt will kill you. The guilt will kill all of you. Guilt, shame, and fear kill. And we don't want that for any of you, because we love you. I came here to teach you to love yourself and to love your neighbor, because it's very easy to love your neighbor when you love yourself, because you'll only see in them the love that you have within you. And that's when it becomes easy. If you can only see hate for yourself and despite for yourself and think that you're a loser or an idiot, that's all you're going to see in your neighbor. So love your neighbor as you love yourself. But it's very important that this part got left out. You must love yourself before you love your neighbor as yourself. Otherwise, you'll just despise your neighbor as you despise yourself. That is all we have for today. We bless each and every one of you, and we bid you adieu. And Peter goes, adieu. Peter's over there dancing around going, I want to talk. And Jesus is like, Jesus touched
Perfect,
him.
perfect. That's a
Yep.
good ending. So let's go ahead and wrap it up for a Tuesday. Hopefully you can make it on tomorrow, because I know you have your late night Patreon thing on Wednesday. But
Yeah. Oh, somebody just
anyway,
said that was for me. I've been looking for jobs all morning. Oh, that's funny. Remember I said that was very specific. Like,
yeah, you was
yeah,
talking to somebody very specifically.
yeah, somebody just wrote that's let's see, is that Danielle? I think it says Danielle. My eyes, I can't read up close. But anyways, I think it's Danielle, but she said that was for me. That's funny how, see, the people when you watch live, the guides will come in and they'll actually start answering your questions that you have through me without us even realizing that they're doing that. So that was pretty cool.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
Oh, real quick, everyone, I'm doing readings. I'm only charging $100. This is like a $500 thing that I charge for. And I've got 3 slots open and then possibly 5 slots open on Sunday, because I'm doing meditation on Wednesdays and Sundays now. If you want to get it's like a 20-minute like mini coaching or a reading done, I'm offering it for half off of it's actually $200, but I'm offering it for half off for the next like 8 people that sign up, because I'm going to do 3 before class on Wednesday, and I'm going to do 3 after class on Sunday. So if you want, email my assistant or go to my website and send a contact form to us and let us know that you want to take one of those slots, and then you'll get a coaching session tomorrow before class. I'm starting my coachings at 3, so it'll be perfect. I'll do this for an hour, post the video, and then go over to do my readings at 3. So it's in a group situation, so it'll be 5 people all together, all on Zoom, and each person gets their reading. And every reading that we do for each person is always for all the other people too. But you'll get to talk with the guides for 20 minutes while I channel. So anyways, I don't want to go over an hour, but check out my website or go onto my Facebook page. I posted about it on there too. So on Marisa Morris.
Perfect. Okay, everybody, we got to go.
Okay.
Have yourself a great Tuesday night and a Wednesday, because this goes all over the place. And if God's willing, we'll all be back here again tomorrow.
We will be.
So God bless everybody. Do the
All right. Love you,
Father's
Papa.
will.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.